All right.
How do you get decimals?
By calling them floats. Okay, so today we're going to talk about conditionals. A conditional means a fork in the road in a programming sense. You're coming in, you're driving your car to work, and you come to a red light. What do? You have a decision. Do I wait for the light to turn green so I can go forward, or do I take a right and take an alternate route? So some people you might process this in your head as you're coming up. If the light is red when I come to a stop up here, I'm going to go right because I don't want to waste time waiting at the light. If the light is green, I'm going to just proceed on ahead because it'll be faster for me. Anybody ever do something like that? Okay, in your brain, you're thinking about choices all the time. And so a choice in a computer program is a branch or a fork in the road, and we let the computer decide, or we tell the computer, if you come up to a certain condition in the road, make a decision at that point and change the course of the program. So that's what a conditional is. That's what these are used a lot. You cannot write a program, I don't think, without a conditional, except maybe the Hello World program. So let's say that you're trying to keep somebody out of a website, and you want them to be 13 years or older. Okay? So you might ask them, you've come to websites like that, and you say, it says check a box if you're 13 year old or something like that, right? Which is a silly concept because a 12-year-old's going to check it anyway. It's a stupid thing. But the point is that they're making some decision at that point. So let's do something like, please enter your age. And this is a prompt, remember? So we have to ask the user, print something on the screen so they can answer my question. Then how do I get back that value so that I can look at it? Gets, okay, I'm going to store it in some variable. So age equals, I'm going to assign it the value of whatever they type on the keyboard. Now, since it's a number, an age is a number, right? I don't want to have the word 50, F-I-F-T-Y on there, right? I want to have a number 50. So how would I convert this string to an integer so that my age variable is an integer now? .2i, all right, very good. So now my age is what data type? Integer. So I can do integer type stuff with it. And a conditional, let's say if they're less than, let's say 18 instead. Let's say if they're less than 18, I want to say welcome to the site. Okay? So the way we do that in programming in almost every language has something like this. If age less than 18, let's see, did I say I wanted to be greater than 18, right? Greater than 18 puts welcome to the site. All right, so let's see what's happening here. We're comparing an if statement in Ruby requires an end statement. So we have an if, and then we can have any number of statements inside of this block of code. I can have another line, something like this site is cool, whatever. I can have a bunch of statements inside of this if block. We call this an if block. So if this is a Boolean expression, which means it returns a true or false. The evaluation, the computer says, is age greater than 18? If that's true, then I want to do these rest of these statements. Otherwise, it just skips that completely and says, I don't know, hello. All right? It skips this entire block of code, skips all of these statements, and comes down to the next available statement in the line. Just like Tug or Turtle, you had to do one statement at a time, right? So let's run this and see what it looks like. So I'm going to put in the value of 50. All right, I'm 50. So it says, welcome to the site. This site is cool. Hello. Yes?
Mine just says no SDK specified.
Oh, I forgot to do that, didn't I? Sorry. Okay, so there is an issue with RubyMine sometimes if you're switching computers especially, that it forgets what Ruby you have installed. So if you go to this little tool wrench here, and you go to the Ruby SDK link, it has it has a pull-down menu here of all the various Ruby installations that you have on your computer. And if it's blank, then you want to select this Ruby 193. See, I don't even have the one you guys have, which is 393, I think, patch. And then you say apply. If it doesn't see anyone, you can say add SDK, but typically it finds this Ruby here. Did that work for you? Then you just hit apply, okay, and then you'll get.
Thank you.
Okay, good. I was going to record that. Thank you for that. All right, so age came when it came to this statement here. Age was what value? From this program down here. It was 50, okay? So is 50 greater than 18? True. So this evaluates to true, so it says, okay, do the rest of these statements in this block of code and quit. All right? Now, if I want to print out something if they're less than 18, if I wanted to go the other way around, I could say, go away until you are old enough, and still entice them that this site is cool. Okay, so now if I run this and I say my age is 13, it's going to say go away until you're old enough, this site is cool. Okay, so age was 13. Is 13 less than 18? Yes, so do the rest of these statements. If I run it and say my age is greater than that, if I'm back to 50, what's going to be printed to the screen? Hello, very good. So when I just put in 50, it's going to say hello. Because age, at this point, the user typed in 50. Is 50 less than 18? No, so that becomes a false statement. A false Boolean expression is what they call it. And so it skips this block of code, it skips all the way to the end, and starts executing these lines of code down here. All right, any questions on that? So Boolean expressions can be lots of stuff. I can do things like age is greater than 18. How would I check equivalency? If age is equivalent to 18, is it equal to 18? All right, now here's where you guys get into trouble coming from your Visual Basic background, okay? In Visual Basic, this is a valid statement. This is a valid Boolean expression. In Ruby, it's not, okay? And in most every other language in the world, this is not a valid Boolean expression because what this is in Ruby is an assignment statement. This says make age equal to 18. Store the value 18 into age. It doesn't compare the values. It stuffs it in here. Visual Basic does the same thing, but if it's in an if statement, it chooses to be a conditional instead. And that's the worst thing. I hate that about Visual Basic. I mean, that will screw you guys up for life, because this is a very common error. If I want to check equivalency, I use two equal signs together. Okay? Is age, and I read it like this, is age equivalent to 18? That's one way instead of saying is age equal to 18. Equivalent gets you over that point of using a single equal sign. If I put age equal 18 here, this will actually work. But let's show you what happens. Let me put their age at the end of this statement here and run it. And so if I enter my age as 50, it says it prints out my age as 18. It changed the value of my age because it took the value of 18, stuffed it into my age, then checked to see is 18 true. Well, in Ruby, a positive value like that is a true statement. 18 would evaluate as true. So it went ahead and printed these two blocks of these two lines of code. But in the meantime, as a side effect of that, it destroyed my original 50 value and made it 18. All right, very common bug, very hard to find because you read this like it's in an if statement. It should compare this. It doesn't. It's destroying my age. So that's one to really be careful of. No, it printed it for 50. Did you see that? I put in 50. It printed my 2 lines. And it gave me a warning because this is a problem. It found an equal in a conditional. Should be double equal. Even though this is a valid statement, that was, I already changed it. But so when I ran this, it didn't matter what I put in. It would always print these 2 statements. Do you see that? No matter what I put in, because age is going to be destroyed by 18, it's going to be whatever the guy puts in, it's going to be overwritten. My variable now holds the value 18. 18 is always true. It's always going to print these 2 values. You see that? Very dangerous position, which is why they give you a warning. So that's equivalency. I can also do age. How would I compare less than or equal to? Okay, but we write it just like I read it, okay, because that's a common problem. This is not a valid statement, and you get a little red squiggly there. We write it like we read it. So is age less than or equal? So we write the less than sign first, and then the equal sign. Okay, is age less than or equal? So this is less than or equal to. How about greater than or equal to? The greater than, the right arrow, or equal to, greater than or equal to. That's not the same as this. That's actually a symbol that we'll learn later as a hash symbol. So we write it like we read it, greater than or equal to 18. This is greater than or equal to. And then what would be not equal to? That's another one. All right, so very good. Not equal to 18 is the same, is like this English, not equal to. No. That's a Visual Basic thing too. That's a Pascal thing. That's in a different languages. Yeah, SQL. Yeah. So not equal to, and this is the reason. There are some other ways of doing some of this, but this is the way that most languages do this. C#, C++, Java, JavaScript, Ruby, Python, almost all of those languages use these type of symbols, and so you need to get used to these symbols. This is the way most programming is done. All right, doesn't matter the language. Remember, it's not about Ruby here, it's about learning how to program, and Ruby just happens to be our language that we're using. All right, any questions on that? Let's see how these work then. If I were to do some of these, if I said if age is less than, oops, that's a whole nother operator. We won't get into that one. If age is less than 18, what happens if I put in 18? Why? It's not less than. It is equal to 18. It's not less than 18. 18 is not less than 18. So if I put in 18, it skips that and goes on to printing out my age here. All right. If I put 17, obviously that's less than 18, so that runs fine. How about greater than 18? If I put in 18, what is it going to put? Okay, just hello, because 18 is not greater than 18. It's equal to, so it skips that. That's why if we want to check 18 or above, we would say 18 greater than or equal to 18. Now 18 will run the same as it was before, okay? How about not equal to 18? If I put in 20, is 20 not equal to 18? Yes. So this is kind of a reverse logic. Anything will happen, any number I put in here will work and print these two statements, except for one number, which is that? 18, right? So if I actually put in 18, 18 not equal to 18 is false, and it skips that. That's kind of a weird. No.
So if you put in something like my boolean is not equal to true, then if it's true, then it skips over that.
Yeah. Now, what you're thinking of is if I had a variable like, I don't know. I could say if not age, but if age was, the problem with Boolean expressions is age, doesn't matter what is here, age will always be true. So not true would be false, so it would skip these. So that's maybe what you're thinking of.
But if age is a Boolean variable.
Yeah, then you could do that, yeah.
So this is also where you compare if else statement, right?
Yes. Any questions on this part so far? So let's put, make this back to greater than or equal to 18. So that if they enter 18, will that run this block of code? Okay. So now the other part that Desiree mentioned, she's a good shill here, is moving into an else statement. I can have an else happen with another block of code right in the middle of this. So if age is greater than 18, do these blocks of code, do these statements. Otherwise, do these statements. So I could say puts, let's put this back here. All right, so if we read this down, and you need to get in the habit of reading your code here line by line, if the age is, if they enter 18, what's going to happen here? It's going to say, welcome, the site is cool. If I enter 17, what's going to happen? Right, so this Boolean expression, if this is false, it does the else part here. Everything in the else block. And that can be a bunch of statements as well. So let's just run it, because I know you don't believe me. So if I put in 18, I says, welcome, the site is cool. If I run it again and put in 17, or 7, whatever, it says, go away, you're not old, you are, and go away until you are old enough. Okay, there we go. Sure. You want to have 3 pieces down here, maybe.
Does it already be true, so it would skip to the end, or would it still run that second?
You mean just take the else out and put this line down here?
No, if
Yeah.
If you put less than or equal to, would it run both lines or just the first and then skip to the end? Because you'd be overlapping and saying if it was less, it would be equal to, greater than and equal to, and also less than or equal to at the same time.
Goes into the if and then the if.
You want to do something like this, and they're less than or equal to 25, something like that.
No, I wanted to know if it was less than or equal to 18 also. Not if you did an else if instead of an else. If you put else and then age is less than or equal to 18.
In an else if, we do it like this, else if,
Yeah.
and we say age less than or equal to 18.
And then if you put in 18 as your age, would it even run the else?
No, because the 18 would satisfy this part first and skip this completely. Okay, that's what it was foreign to me. I couldn't figure out why you would do that. So this is, it satisfies the first one first and it skips the rest of it. It just will skip that completely. If this was false, it checks against this conditional now, and if that is true, then it does this one. Otherwise, it just falls out to the end. So that's a little more complicated.
Wouldn't you want to make the second one less than or equal to 17 instead?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I wouldn't do this at all, but you could do less than 18, which is the same thing, by the way, as age is less than or equal to 17. Do you see that these are the same Boolean expression?
Because it doesn't look at the 18 that below it, right?
Right. They will test the same. No matter what number I put in there, those will end up being the same true. All right. Interesting. Any other questions?
Not yet, but ask
I'm sure you will have some tomorrow. That's fine. All right. Tomorrow we're going to go through and learn some while loops. So if you want to get ahead, you want to study up on while loops. While loops. All right. That's enough for now.